I'm going to introduce a good friend and a fun person to hang with and do business with. We've got Yvonne McCoy. She's an MBA and she's a business strategist who helps entrepreneurs with sporadic sales attract their right clients and be F-O-U-N-D, be found. Not fixed, but be found. Her framework simplifies client attraction using the strengths that you already have. Don't need to go around, look for other things to do. She helps you look within, uncover those real strengths, package it up, and get you out there and be found. Yvonne teaches how to build trust from the client's point of view with strategies that actually connect before the sale. And we all hear the saying, people buy from those who you know, like, and trust. And Yvonne is a master at helping you jump inside who you are and find out what it is that the people really want to know about you and how to communicate it in a way that they form a relationship and really trust you. Her client's trust journey brings clarity and confidence to business owners ready to be seen, heard, and hired for who they really are. And that's the biggest thing, how you can be out there, be authentic and feel great about it, but most importantly, have other people feel great about you. Yvonne, the stage is yours.
There we go. Okay. So I already put in make your learning last, so I didn't have to do it during my talk, but I want to talk to you about, my title is Attract the Client, your right client with the unique power that you already have. And probably you're saying to yourself, I don't have a unique power. And so I want to give you a really fast way to think about this. And it happened for me. This story came to me when I went into the refrigerator and the freezer, and I realized that my husband had bought these silicone ice cube trays that made these really big ice cubes. And I was like, this is great. My drink is not going to get diluted, but it was so big it would not fit into my water bottle. Right. So I started thinking about ice cubes and, the fact that it used to be, you got it delivered to your house in a big block. And then it was, you had these little tiny metal trays that you could make ice. And then we moved into you had ice, your refrigerator could make ice and personal ice. You could go to the 7-Eleven or the Wawa and buy a bag of ice. The point is that ice is the same in all of these things. It is water and it is cold. You are not the ice. You are the container that holds the ice for your right client. Whether they want chipped ice, whether they want big blocks, whether they want all these different things. So you have a unique power. And so the problem is that we do not recognize our gifts. And my tip to you is think about all the things that really irritate your family. Those are probably some of your gifts. My gift is that I am an implementer. I get from point A to Z as fast as possible. Right. And an example of this in my childhood was I was in a geometry class. I never read the book unless I couldn't solve the problem. I went into class. Everybody was saying it took me 20 steps. It took me 26 steps, and it had taken me 3. My teacher says, put this up on the board. I put it on the board. He looks at it. He shakes his head and he goes, yes, that'll work. But would you please do it right the next time? Could somebody else come out and put the proof up? Now, in my brain, why is 26 steps right when I can do it in 3, right? And this has always been, for me, the way that I got through things the fastest is like, where am I headed? What do I need to do? So you already have your natural talents and they've grown over time. And the right client is looking for you. You don't need to be fixed. You just need to let them know who you are. So that's how I came up with my Be Found. And I'm going to put that in the chat, because if you can't remember, you can't use it. So the whole purpose is that businesses, about 50% of businesses go out of business in 5 years because, one, they're not clear on their market, they're not profitable, and they don't have a focus. And this Be Found Foundation is meant to take care of that. I do a very high touch, kind of like our first speaker. I'm sorry, I forgot your name. So that we can work on what you need. Not what you already have. I don't duplicate what you already have. I have you work on running your own business in a way that's comfortable for you. So the first thing is the Be Found is you need to be yourself, right? And I ran into that when I was trying to be so professional and so scripted and stuff like that, and it just didn't work. The second thing is you need focus. So when you have clarity about your right client, It can help you make a lot of decisions that make a lot of sense. It is your filter. It helps you put your foundation together. Next, it helps you to outreach. And you have to do that consistently, because one of the things as entrepreneurs that we do is we tend to get a client and stop. What the thing that got us the client, because we're so happy we have a client, right? But you need to do it consistently. So you need to come up with something that is something that you can do on a regular basis. You need to understand your client's trust journey, which is so important, because it's not a generic cookie cutter thing. People move through that process of recognizing the problem, acknowledging that they have the problem, investigating and getting their needs met at different speeds. If you're diagnosed with cancer, you go through that as fast as possible. If you're talking about aging, it may take a couple of years. And so we need to do that. The other part, and this is what Grand Connection is all about, is about nurturing connections and making sure you're not always going someplace just to look for a client. You're looking for other people in your space, people that you can support, that they can support, and just be good friends with, right? And Steve is a wonderful example of that. And the last one, which I think is really important, is that you need to delight, deliver, and delight. If I can't delight you before we talk, you're probably not going to talk to me, right? What's the purpose, right? So I hope I've given you something to think about, and I hope that I've delighted you. So I want you to be yourself and not be packaged. Be the uniqueness that your family really talks about you. And my offer to you is a 30-minute call. And what we're going to talk about is making sure that your unique powers matches your pitch, your introduction. Talk about where the gaps are in your client attraction. And a lot of times when you have that gap, you've left the money on the table. So let's find out about that and help you be found and be profitable as fast as possible.